was a hot August evening. The sound of the bustling city, people chattering as they walked, car horns honking, and underneath it all, the sound of the waves of Lake Michigan crashing into each other. "Excuse me," he said, singling me out from the crowd of people. "My name is Richard Thomas." And there I stood, an arm full of LPs that I just bought from Jazz Record Mart, and under my other arm, my refill of tobacco for the next year or so. "Excuse me," he said. "My name is Richard Thomas. I have a degree in mass communication." Now, on Chicago, many homeless people have introduced themselves to me, but this was the first time someone ever came up to me and gave me his name, his full name. And I was rather taken back by this. And then he went on to say he had a degree in mass communication, which, as our conversation unfolded, I realized was from Columbia College, the same college I went to. Richard Thomas stood in front of me, same age as me approximately, same college. We may have been there at the same time. And there we were, two sons of Chicago, except he was unemployed and I wasn't. "My name is Richard Thomas. I have a degree in mass communication from Columbia College. And I need your help. I have this problem that I can't stand up for too long. When I stand up for too long, I start getting these very unusual headaches. I need to lay down. To lay down, the beds cost me $12. Could you help me with this?" And then he went on. Before I even had a chance to give the money, he kept talking about his headaches. "I get these strange headaches," he says, "and I get a numbness in my feet, and my blood congeals." Yes, a homeless person used the word congeals to me. And I was moved by it. He started going on about these strange headaches. "What does that to a person?" he says. I took out my wallet. I opened it up. I handed him a $10 bill. I wished him luck finding the other two, and I carried on my way. It was probably no more than 5 seconds later, I began to think about what I did. He asked for $12. He needed $12. I gave him 10. I had 2 singles. I had more money in my pocket. I could have given him the whole thing. I could have even given him more so I could get a bite to eat. But $10 is what I gave him. And this moment became a turning point in my life. Why did I put a limit on it? For some reason, something held me back. I didn't want to give him the full $12. I was happy to give him almost all of it. But why is that? Why did I limit myself? Why did I decide not to give him the full? In fact, I didn't decide it. It was just an unconscious choice. Like I was pre-programmed not to give him the full 12, but to get him almost there. Why is that? I don't know. But in that moment, I became aware of my limits. A self-imposed limit. The kind of limit that I wasn't even conscious of. The kind of limit I just accepted until that moment when I became aware of it. Just the week before, I had been in Las Vegas at the Toastmasters International Convention. And one speaker asked the question, "What would you dare to dream if you knew you wouldn't fail?" And isn't that a very interesting question? What would you dare to dream if you knew you wouldn't fail? Why do we qualify it? Why do we think about failing? Why does the fear of failure prevent us from dreaming as big as we do? Because of limits. We're back to limits. We're afraid of going all the way. We accept these limits all the time. And what would you dare to dream if you knew you wouldn't fail? Fellow Toastmasters, what are your limits worth? Are they worth $10? Are they worth not going all the way? What are your limits? Maybe we need to take time and think about this a little bit more. Why do we limit ourselves? There's two kinds of limits. There's the limits that we're aware of. I mean, I know, for example, that I can't walk through this wall. And then there's the kind of limits that we're simply not aware of. The kind that we accept without even thinking about it until we have these flashes of insight. Why didn't I give him the full 12? Why did I limit myself to 10? So, my dear friends, it's time for us to explore our limits and see why we don't step out of the box sometimes. Brothers and sisters, think about our limits and what are yours.